Pak Heldy, saya persilakan Pak. It's your time. The screen is yours. Terima kasih.
Oke, terima kasih Pak Krishna Hamzah.
Ya.
Bahan saya harus share lewat sini atau gimana?
Terserah Bapak. You can share it from your computer or the committee can help you. Terserah Bapak mau lebih ringan mana buat Bapak meringankan?
Coba ya.
Iya Pak. Tadi udah dibuka otoritasnya Pak.
Ya, saya baru lihat. Saya udah kirim Pak ya tadi ya bahan saya. Or maybe from your side Pak can help me to put on the screen. Oke.
Udah bagus Pak.
Oke, thank you Pak. Sebentar. Oke, terima kasih Pak Krishna Hamzah. Kebetulan ternyata sama-sama orang Palembang Pak ya.
Capek bahasa Inggris nih Pak.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang menjelang sore, Pak Ibu. Very good morning to all participants and speakers. I already prepared my presentation or material in English, but maybe I will use Indonesian language, or maybe I will mix, to explain about my presentation. I will talk about the prospect of railway investment in Indonesia. But before I talk about the prospect or opportunity of railway project in Indonesia, let me share with you about the situation of investment in Indonesia in the middle of COVID-19 pandemic. Next. Okay, this is the situation of global economic in the middle of pandemic in Asia. If we look at the growth of economy from Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Japan, and Indonesia as well, Vietnam and China, mostly the growth of economy from several countries, or mostly almost all countries, have a contraction and also negative growth. Even Indonesia, for the second quarter we still have the positive growth, but for the third quarter, and then we have the negative growth. And how about the global foreign direct investment? If we look at the data from UNCTAD, global FDI is decreased between 30 until 40%. And FDI in Indonesia, based on realization, is a bit lower. The decrease number is about 6.9% for the semester 1 or the first semester. Okay, next. Maybe from this page, we can see how good the FDI flow for the next year, because this year we have known the FDI flow is decreased between 30 until 40%. And next year, also from the data from UNCTAD, still decrease the FDI from any countries. If we look from the world, is around annual average growth is minus around 30 until 40. Europe, the same thing, minus 30 until 40%. And Asia, also the same situation. Next. And how about in Indonesia? The government has issued the new law number 2 in this year to handle the financial situation in Indonesia during the COVID-19 pandemic. With this regulation or law, we have the strategy to recover 8 sectors. One is to strengthen of health sector, expansion of social protection, and then financial sector, tourism, etc. But what I want to share with you that infrastructure development still the priority of the government to build in this situation. Next, please. I would like to share with you about the investment realization in the middle of COVID-19. Next, please. Next. This is the realization of investment from the third quarter. If we look at the number, we can get 611.6 trillion rupiah, means around 74.8% from the target in 2020. Our target is 817.2 trillion. So with this situation, we believe that we can achieve the target for this year. For FDI, I already mentioned that from the global FDI decreased around 30 until 40%. But in Indonesia, fortunately, the decrease of FDI is around 5.1%. So we get a better FDI compared to other countries in Southeast Asia in terms of number. Okay, and then the top 10 of FDI is Singapore, China, Hong Kong, Japan, South Korea, Netherlands, Malaysia, USA. What I would like to share with you is from the top 5 came from Asian countries. Okay, next. This is the situation of its investment realization in infrastructure. Infrastructure, if we look at the graphic from the year 2014, infrastructure always increased every year, but last year a bit lower. But what I would like to share with you that the appetite of investor to infrastructure project or sector in Indonesia showed a very big appetite, and the total contribution of the infrastructure sector to the whole investment in Indonesia is around 20%. Next, please. This is the top 10 countries that invest in infrastructure in Indonesia: Singapore, Japan, China, Netherlands, South Korea, British Virgin Islands, etc. What I would like to share with you with this information or screen is that mostly investment for infrastructure came from China, 60%. And then the second is from Japan. And the third is South Korea and Netherlands, and the last is Singapore. Even Singapore is the biggest investment into Indonesia, but for infrastructure, Singapore is number 5 from the top 5 FDI. If we look at China, the first sector for infrastructure is energy, and then port, and then railway. also for South Korea, energy, port, and railway. Next. I would like to share with you about investment opportunity on infrastructure in Indonesia. Next, please. Okay, this is the map of infrastructure project in Indonesia. We need to develop about 24 ports of sea-toll in Indonesia, and then also airport and railway. If you look at on the screen, you can see the black dot, in every island, big island, the 5 biggest island in Indonesia. So there are some project for the railway in Indonesia. So this is the opportunity actually for the railway project in Indonesia that we can share with you. Next, please. If we look at the pipeline infrastructure project from the PPP scheme, maybe the next speaker also will share with you about this information. You can see there are some railway project as well that will be used, will be using the PPP scheme for the outline business case. Maybe you can see that we have LRT Semarang here, and then we also have LRT Cibubur, and we also have okay, and then maybe from FBC, final business case, we have also the railway project. So you can see how many railway projects that will be over by using the PPP scheme. Next, please. This is the PPP project for the private initiative, or we call it unsolicited. Here we have Jakarta. Okay, I haven't seen. I didn't see the railroad for the unsolicited. So I think this is also opportunity that we can offer to the investor. You can use unsolicited PPP scheme, to over the railway project in Indonesia to the government. So the initiative from you, the plan from the private sector, and then we will facilitate you, to prepare the project with the PPP scheme. Next, please. This is the PPP railway. This is specific for the railway. So you can see how many projects that we have for the railway by using the PPP scheme as well. Next, please. This is the detail of railway project. For example, LRT Semarang. So we can share with you the detailed information of railway project. You can see the concession period, how long the concession period. You can see also the IRR, and then estimated project cost and other information, also the project timeline. Next. Next, please. Yes. This is Lahat Tarahan, another railway project that we also can share with you, and then you can see the project timeline if you are interested to invest in railway sector in Indonesia, especially by using the PPP scheme. Next, please. We also have Cibungur Tanjung Rasa, and then Makassar Pare Railway. Next. Okay, maybe it's already started, Makassar Pare, but still has opportunity for you to join as IPC company and other opportunity. Please. Cibungur, Bogor. Next, the project summary. This is the project summary that you can see, and we can discuss more about this opportunity. Next. This is the facilitation that I would like to share with you. What kind of facilitation that BKPM or Indonesia Investment Coordinating Board can be that we can over to you or we can give to the investors. Next, please. One, this is about the facilitation that we call it end-to-end facility. We can start, we will start from the promotion of project, and then we will facilitate the investor, to set up company in Indonesia, and then also we will facilitate you until the financial close, and we will facilitate you to monitor, the production stage of your project in Indonesia. That's the facility that we can offer to investor Indonesia from BKPM. Next, this is example of the project that stuck, in 2020. I think we have facilitated some project, from 700 trillion from our identification, and then we already facilitated the problem around 441 trillion, or more than 60%. You can see the project that we have facilitated, to solve their problem. Lotte Chemical from Korea, and also Masdar. This is the infrastructure project, and other project that we have facilitated as well. Next. This is a strategy for BKPM to facilitate the companies already operate, facilitating potential investment, existing potential that have not been executed. Same like the last slide that I made share with you. Attracting new investment means that we will do promotion, and then providing incentive. Next, please. Okay, next. I will talk about incentive that BKPM can facilitate, can offer to the investors. Next, please. This is the procedure of license that we can issue for the investor to set up company in Indonesia. Now we use the online system that we call online single submission. So all investor, they can submit the application through online. They don't need to come to any government office in Indonesia. And then with the new law that we will have, that we call the job creation law, or omnibus law, more popular with omnibus law, and then we will improve the OSS system in BKPM to provide facilitation for investor to get license from Indonesian government, because all the license will be issued by this system or by BKPM in the future. Next, please. Next slide. Okay, this is the ownership that can be owned by the foreign investor. For the railway project, the foreign company can own 100%. So means for the railway, project is open for the foreign company. Next, please. This is fiscal incentive that can be proposed or apply to the BKPM. One is tax holiday. We have tax holiday and mini tax holiday. And then we also have tax allowance. If you are not eligible to get the tax holiday, and then you can apply to get the tax allowance. And then we also have incentive for labor incentive industry, super deduction incentive, import duty facility. Next, please. This is the requirement and also the facility from the tax holiday that investor can get. You know, you can get between 5 and 20 years tax exemption, and then plus 2 years. You know, after 20 years, you still can get the tax reduction. There are 18 eligible pioneer sectors that can apply to get this facility. Next, please. And this is the tax allowance. We can get 30% of investment value reduction, you know, for 6 years. So every year you can get 5% tax deduction. And then all the process will be processed in BKPM. Okay, next, please. This is the realization of tax holiday and tax allowance that we have issued, we have given to the investors. Next, please. This is the super deductible tax that we can give for the labor-intensive industry. We can give 60% from the cost that you have spent for the internship program or working program. We can give you 200% from the cash that you have spent, and then for R&D, we can get 300%. Next, please. This is another facility that we can give also to the investors, is import duty facility. So if you need to import capital goods in a 4-year project in Indonesia, and then you can get import duty facility. You don't need to pay the import duty, and you can get this through BKPM approval. And then Greenland acceleration for the new company. As a new company, you have to follow the red line first, and then after a few years, you can follow the yellow line, and then the green line. But with Indonesian, BKPM facility, and then we can give you facility for the green line, even you are the new company in Indonesia. This is also another facility that we can give to the investor. Okay, I think that's all. Next, thank you very much. That's all the information that I can share with you. And then maybe we can talk about another issue in discussion section. Thank you very much, Pak Hamzah.
Thank you, Pak Heldy. Terima kasih banyak. Very enlightening explanations.